Let's talk about drinking water. We have Seoul Waterworks Authority. That's organization for drinking water. We have 8 local water service office and 6 water treatment plant and 1 procurement center. Do you remember the population of Seoul is 10 million, including the commuters from the satellite cities is 15 million. 15 million, 6 water treatment plant. Can you imagine the size of the plant? It's huge. Do you remember in 1960s, Korean economy grew fast. Population grew also fast. So city need to expand the water production capacity, right? So we built large one. Because if the plant is large, we could reduce the production cost, right? It's the economy of scale. So we built huge one like this. Right now, do you remember the timeline? It's stabilized, so we don't need to expand the production capacity. So the city focus on the quality, not quantity. So we have problem. Big one is hard to control the quality, right? So that's our another problem. Anyhow, we have a huge 6 water treatment plant and we have about 2,000 steps. Capacity is 4.5 million cubic meter per day. I know you are expert in water area, so you are familiar with this size, right? 4.5 million cubic meter per day. And average production is about 3.6 million cubic meter. It's huge. Pipe network is about 14,000 kilometer. Again, reservoir, we have 102 reservoir. Total size is 2.4 million cubic meter. And we have 2 million water posts, and budget is about 700 million USD. This is a water cube used for the swimming competition in Beijing Olympic. With the 4.5 million cubic meter per day, which is the daily production capacity of Seoul, we can fill 2,500 Olympic-sized swimming pool with that water every day. Diameter of Seoul, the Earth is about 13,000 kilometers. Do you remember? Pipe length in Seoul is about 14,000 kilometers. So it's a little bit longer than the diameter of Earth. So we have huge system. Again, this is Han River. This is upstream. We have 5 intake stations. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another one is located at the Paltang Dam. Do you remember Paltang, which is the joint of the North and South Han River? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have 6 water treatment plants. 1, 2, 3 covers northern part. And another 1, 2, 3 covers southern part. This afternoon you will visit this one. So let's talk about water quality management. This is source water. From source water, this is intake station. This is gauging well. From this point, water treatment plant starts from this point to clear well. Rapid mixing, coagulation, sedimentation, filtration, disinfection, and clear well. And the water is pumped to reservoir and to the citizen. So from source to the tap, we do water quality monitoring periodically. So we control 171 water quality items periodically, like daily, weekly, monthly. You can read the data, like we have 450 sites for water quality monitoring at tap. Supply system, we have 70 sites. It's a quarterly monitored, something like that. So we do water quality monitoring like this. And do you remember I said the Seoul, even though the Han River is inside of Seoul, we cannot control it. It's controlled by central government, but we monitored it. So if there is some problem, in the water quality or quantity, then we can let the central government know about it with the data. So we have to monitor it, even though we cannot control it. This is a Jamsil Bridge. There is a underwater dam here. So from that point, the upstream is called source water protection area. So in this area, citizens cannot do any recreational or commercial activities. It's prohibited because this is used for source water of Seoul. And yeah, you can do recreational activities in downstreams. So we do water quality monitoring in the upstreams, and also we do many monitoring sites inside of Seoul too. And this is the water quality monitoring site in the South Han River and North Han River. You can see the point, right? That's the water sampling point for water quality monitoring by my steps. And this is branch to the Han River. We have the real-time water quality monitoring system, so-called Seoul Waterworks system. We installed the real-time water quality measuring devices in Seoul, 200 devices from the source water to the tap. And we can have the real-time data about the water quality. And that data is sent to internet, so it's open to public. So citizens can check the water quality anytime, anywhere, if they can have access to internet. So it said it's good to drink, and there is a turbidity, pH, and residual chlorine and water qualities. And the data is open to via smartphone and electronic board also. And we have water flow monitoring system. In Seoul, there is a. Are you familiar with the DMA, District Metered Area? We divided the whole Seoul into small unit. And the smallest unit is DMA. And the small DNA. We have 2,100 small DMA. And about 100 DMA make a middle-sized DMA. And every middle-sized DMA has flow meter. So we can monitor the water flow in real time. And the water quality, pressure, and flow data is integrated into integrated information system. So we can control and monitor and control the system. So they have production management system and supply management and remote operating monitoring component and real-time water quality monitoring system. And also they have CCTV, so they can check the site with naked eyes. Algae is actually a plant, kind of plant, not plant, but it's a kind of plant. So that's why they are green, because they have chlorophyll and photosynthesis. But if there is a phenomenon called eutrophication, which caused by the nutrient like phosphorus and nitrogen, if the river has too much of nitrogen and phosphorus, then the algae is bloom. So mayor had to go out to check water quality at Han River. This is an intake station. So intake station can have problem with the algae. Actually, the algae has toxin, but the algae in Han River doesn't have toxins. So, but problem is these two chemicals, like geosmin and 2-MIB. If there is algae in your water, it smells like earthy or mushroom, or smell and taste like tough. It's not harmful, but it's not good to drink or smell. That's because of these two chemicals. So, because of climate change, the Han River has more algae, and we have problem of treating the source water with the algae because of these two chemicals. It's hard to treat with conventional treatment process. And so the city introduced algae alert system. As you can see, there is 11 times alert in 2008, but it increased rapidly. right? So days of warning is 11 days in 2008, but in 2015 we have 98 days of warning. So the city introduced so-called advanced water treatment system. This is a conventional system, the mixing, coagulation, sedimentation, filtration, and we add ozone and GAC, granular activated carbon, to treat those two chemicals, 2-MIB and geosmin produced by algae. This is carbon. Actually, it's activated carbon. It's called activated because we developed more spaces. Actually, it's a pore, called pore, inside of the carbon. It looks like, the ordinary carbon is different because it has a lot of pores inside. So it means the carbon has a huge surface area. So when we spread all the carbon pores inside of the carbon, with this amount of carbon, we can make a soccer field. So it means it has a lot of surface area, which means it can absorb bad chemicals easily. That's why we use carbon to absorb 2-MIB and geosmin. And this is structure of carbon. As you can see, there is many pores inside of carbon. And this is GAC basin. It looks like this. And this is data. This is 2-MIB. Actually, it's N, not M. Nanogram per liter. N. It's not M, N. 10 nanogram per liter is kind of a threshold for people to feel the taste and odor of 2-MIB and geosmin. So we use this kind of guideline. And red line is 2-MIB concentration in Han River. It goes like this. And the blue line is after the water concentration of 2-MIB after treated by conventional process. As you can see, we cannot remove 2-MIB, right? But the green line with the ozone and GAC, we can reduce it down to the 10 nanogram per liter. Okay, let's talk about revenue to water ratio. There's only two countries. In Korea and Japan, we use revenue to water ratio. But internationally, we use NRW, right? Non-revenue water, or UFOW, unaccounted for water. RWR is kind of opposite concept of NRW. The definition of RWR is ratio of the volume of water paid by customers to the volume of water we supply to citizens. So it's a kind of opposite. I think this is related with the efficiency of system. In 1989, the city launched a special organization dedicated to water, which is Seoul Water Authority. When they started their business, the RWR was about 55%, which means 45% was lost, right? This is the ratio of water paid by citizens. So it means 45% is lost. So at that time, anyhow, this was 45% of water was lost. But we increased as you can see. So right now it's 45%, which means NRW is about 5%. But you have to remember, is this high number good? Very good. If this ratio, revenue to water ratio, is increased, then we can make more money, right? But to increase RWR, we have to invest money. So there is kind of break-even point. So high number is not always good. It depends on the situation and condition of the city. So there is a break-even point, invest and earning, right? So according to my calculation, 92 to 93% is kind of break-even point, which means, yeah. So, but there can be a little bit difference. But anyhow, this range is kind of the maximum. If we increase more than this, we will input more money than the money we can earn, right? You have to remember there is a break-even point. That point is different by cities, so you have to calculate it. Anyhow, so about 90 to 95% is kind of the break-even point. This is the NRW again, so it's decreased. Again, this is timeline. Do you remember this is production capacity? So this is GDP. Actually, it's about $30,000 right now. But anyhow, this is a production capacity. Do you remember 1960s, 70s, Korean economy grew fast and production capacity grew fast? And this is RWR. Production capacity increased, but RWR is just steady. What does that mean? We just built and supply water, but we didn't focus on the efficiency of the system. RWR is just steady. But from that point, when we have enough water for citizens, we focused on the efficiency of the system and RWR increased. This is NRW, steady, and it can go down. We made effort to leak management. Actually, it was 60,000 cases a year in 1989 when the Seoul Water Authority starts its business. It was 60,000 leak cases detected in a year, but it decreased to one-tenth of cases with the leak management. It's NRW and leak case. And remember this system? It helped to control water pressure, so we could reduce the leakage with the system. And another management strategy was block system. We call this block, but actually it's the same as DMA. Before we renovate the system, it looks like this. This is plant and water is supplied to the citizens. This is house. It looks like tree, right? Tree system, it has two problems. One is pressure at the extremity, at the end of the system. And also the water at the end of the system can be deteriorated because it's a stagnant here. So two problems, pressure and the quality. So the city changed the system into circular one. Then we can balance the pressure, right? And also, as the water circulates in the system, then we can control quality too. So we changed it into a tree shape into circular one. And do you remember we have 2,100 small DMA, the unit DMA or block, and the block is not flat, because we use gravity to distribute water. So every district is divided by the flat, and also we have to consider the elevation. And we use some leak detection method, but I think it's acoustic, the sound, noise. So I think you have the same techniques, but we use a leak detection. And also, do you remember we have flow monitoring system for every mid-sized DMA. So we can find out if there is a leaking in the system. If we find some pressure difference or flow difference in a mid-sized DMA, then we go into the smaller one, check everything. Actually, before we install the water flow monitoring system for mid-sized DMA, we check all the leakage in 2,100 small DMAs. When we finish that project, we monitor only for the mid-size. Do you understand? At the first stage, we checked all the leakage for 2,000 small DMA. And after that, we only measure the water flow for the mid-size right now, because 2,000 is too much for us. And most effective one is the replacing the old pipe. This is the pipe replacing accumulative. This is NRW. So more of old pipe is replaced, then we can reduce the NRW. Actually, do you remember the 14,000 kilometer of water pipe in Seoul? About 97.7% of old pipe is replaced into new one. The project started in 1984, which means the first one is 37 years old right now, so we have to change it again. right? So it's a kind of circulation. So by increasing RWR or decreasing NRW, we could save a lot of money, and also we could decrease production. Actually, we had 10 water treatment plants in Seoul. We could decrease it into 6 water treatment plants. And also we can save budget. 4 water treatment plant is closed, right? Because we reduced the number of water treatment plants from 10 to 6. So 4 is closed. This is one of the water treatment plant closed. It's a Noryangjin water treatment plant. It's changed into park, like this. And this is another water treatment plant which was built in a small island in the Han River, Seonyudo water treatment plant. This plant is closed and changed into park. You can see still the structure of water treatment plant, right? Here. This is all the the structure used for producing drinking water. And another closed water, Shinwal water treatment plant, is changed into another park. You can see the structures still. We use the structures to make park. Another water treatment plant, Bogwang water treatment plant, is changed into school.